I've used the Oculus Rift S for about 4 months now, and I have lots of things to say about it. So, no intro, this is everything you need to know about the Rift S and if it's worth buying in 2025.
Great big jerk! I deserve that manager's job, but you didn't give it to me, because you say I'm a kid.
Firstly, I'll go over what I do like about this headset. A big pro is that the controllers are extremely light. This is why you might see a lot of speed players using it, and actually why I got it myself. I need to get better at speed. Second, there is no swing bug.
Okay, no massive swings.
If you don't know what swing bug is, essentially when you connect a standalone headset to a computer and run at a lower refresh rate, fewer frames are being rendered per second. The computer has to predict where your saber is in between these frames using momentum to calculate its movement. But this can lead to your swings looking bigger in game than they are in real life. If you run the game at a higher refresh rate, however, there will be much less swing bugs since the game is updating more times per second, meaning fewer predictions. PCVR headsets like the Rift S do not have this limitation, so there's little to no swing bug. Third, it's dirt cheap. I was able to get a high quality used Rift S for about $60 US, which is a super good deal. $60 is still a lot of money, but when you're talking about VR headsets, which are usually in the hundreds or even thousands, buying one for this cheap almost feels like a steal. Granted, you won't find any new ones because Oculus stopped producing them, but if you can find one that's lately used, you're all good. Fourth, the HMD itself. Although it's a bit larger, I think the headset is quite comfortable. It has a solid head strap, so it never slips off my head. One thing I've always hated about the Quest 2 is its head strap, which is small and really floppy. I find that it slips off my head a lot, but the Rift S doesn't. It's also very easy to adjust the size. There's a knob in the back that you can turn. Around the lenses, there's some padding, which does come off every now and then, and I'll admit it's not the best. However, it does feel nice on my face.
Well, I am 100% man, and this man has got something to say to you.
Okay, time for the cons. I'm pretty sure a lot of you were waiting for this section, so I won't do a long intro here either. Firstly, the Rift S is old. Like, really old, being released in early 2019. Because of this, it lacks a lot of the fundamental features that modern headsets, such as the Quest 2 or 3, absolutely spoil us with. So, what are the Rift S's limitations? Well, there's a lot of them. Let's start with the tracking. From my experience, the tracking you get with this headset is affected by many factors and varies between headset to headset. These factors are your room's lighting, how clean your headset cameras are, state of your controllers, and the battery you use. I personally use a Members Mark alkaline battery and have received pretty good tracking with it. The only issue is that these batteries aren't rechargeable, so you'll slowly burn through them over time. Thankfully, the battery life of these controllers is quite good, lasting about a week with somewhat constant usage. If your controllers are damaged or just really old, of course, you won't get as good tracking with them, so try to keep them in the best condition you can. Finally, I've discovered that having a well-lit room helps with tracking by a ton. Onto the visual and audio quality. Yes, they are both terrible, and yes, you should buy headphones. The visual quality sucks, as it's only 1280 by 1440 per eye. Thankfully for Beat Saber, you don't really need high quality lenses, but I can imagine you would for other games. Although I should mention, I'm looking at this headset purely from a Beat Saber standpoint. You do get capped at 80Hz though, which isn't something I like, but once again, that shouldn't make or break your purchase. It's still entirely usable, and once again, just get used to it over time. On to the audio qualities. I'm not sugarcoating this at all. The Rift S might have one of the worst speakers I've ever used. It sounds like I'm listening through a Samsung smart refrigerator. No, it's like scratch that. It sounds like I'm listening through a toaster oven. If you won't have even a chance at surviving more than 60 minutes in this headset with god-awful sound quality, please, for the love of God, just buy headphones or earbuds. This headset does glitch quite often. When I was first setting it up, I had to uninstall and reinstall the entire Oculus Link software just to stop getting a black screen on my headset. It was annoying, but I haven't had to do it since, thankfully. Anyway, I think most of these issues actually stem from the Oculus Link software itself because this is a terrible application. When I used to play on the Quest 2 with a link cable, I was forced to use the software on a daily basis. Then I switched to Index, and all was well, until I bought the Rift S and had to use the software again.
There. I think I made my point.
Anyone else? No? Well then.
Oh, well, in conclusion, should you buy the Rift S? Well, that's up to you. If you already own a Quest, stick with that headset, they're fine. If it's your first VR headset, then you can maybe start here, but don't go into it thinking it's going to be your permanent solution. If you have the money for it, then go buy a newer headset. But for as cheap as it is, the Rift S is fine. It's not perfect, but it's cheap, so you can't expect it to be amazing. Could have been a lot worse. Not as bad as the Windows mixed reality.